So in today's video, I'm going to be covering commonly asked questions that I get all the time. I'm Dustin Hutley, loan originator here in Vancouver, Washington, and I wanted to put together some common questions that I get on a daily basis. I'm doing this so that when you're ready to tackle your next house purchase, you can come back to this video and have your questions answered. So be sure to save this one. Let's get into it. So I have a list of questions that I get all the time that I think are really important to get into and are just really common, and so I think this will be really helpful for you. The first question would be, how much do I actually need for a down payment? And so when I think about this question, it's so situational depending on your personal financial situation and really what's needed for you and your goals. But really the options are, you can put minimum down payments depending on the loan program. Anywhere from 3 to 3.5% down would be like the absolute minimum down. But then there's also some really great state programs and federal programs that provide down payment assistance. Technically, you can do 0 down in a transaction, which would be amazing. But there are cons to that a lot of people don't know about. So most of the time, if you have money saved for at least a minimum down payment, I usually encourage people to do the minimum down because it's just longer term, maybe more financially advantageous. But if you're in a situation where you really don't have that much money, you might just want a little bit money in the bank for some cushion for a rainy day, doing the 0 down program would heavily help you, and you can handle the payments based upon that particular program. I think that's a great solution as well. Technically, there are 0 down, 3.5% down is like the minimum, and then it goes up from there. Question number 2 would be, what's the biggest mistake you see first-time home buyers make? This is something that we joke about all the time in the mortgage industry. Every year it happens where you get under contract, you have clients that are approved and ready to go, and then that client will go out and get a new loan for a car. I see that happen fairly often, that they're just not aware that getting a new loan is something that can affect their qualifying ability. It could completely shut down a home that they want to get, that they have under contract, because they no longer qualify. So just things like opening up credit cards, maybe you're financing an appliance or buying a car, those are things that can certainly break down your transaction and get you out of qualifying. I still highly encourage that people save as much money as they can, even if they're doing a 0 down program, or even if they're doing a low down payment option or whatever it is. You just never know what else might come up. Question number 3, what credit score do I need to buy a house? Very situational. There are some programs that have very specific limits on how low your credit can be. The most common low credit score number would be 580 as like the bare minimum. But if you have scenarios where you have foreclosure involved or bankruptcy or things like that in the recent past, then that could negate the 580 score. It really depends on the reason why you have the low credit scores. We evaluate the why, which allows us to determine what you qualify for. What I will say about credit is that the better your credit is, just the better it is for your interest rate and therefore your monthly payment, as that will of course help you financially in the long run. Number 4, can I buy a house if I have student loans? The answer is absolutely yes. We do it all the time. What's nice about student loans is I'll have people who are a nurse or doctor or lawyer or whatever it is, and they have hundreds of thousands of dollars in student loan debt. We actually don't care how much debt you have. We just care about the monthly payments associated. If you have $200,000 of student loan debt, we're only going to look at whatever that minimum monthly payment is that you have to pay on that particular loan. A lot of people can qualify with student loans. They just maybe don't realize it yet. What's the difference between pre-qualification and pre-approval? I get this a lot. It depends on the loan officer. It depends on the lender. I have a video that specifically breaks it down, but really there's kind of like a bare minimum that you want to have to be able to send a letter confidently. Pre-approval or pre-qualification letter. Sometimes pre-qualification and pre-approval are actually synonymous, as long as we've pulled your credit, evaluated your income, looked at your assets, and we have documentation to verify all of that. Technically, that's a pre-qualification. It's also sometimes considered a pre-approval. Question number 6, what happens if I get denied? So denials are a little bit more rare, where the system gives us a denial, and that could be due to a credit being low, like I mentioned, or maybe income situation is a scenario where you've had so many jobs in the recent past and you're only working part-time right now, and there's just a lot of complexities to your income, so maybe we can't use your income right now, so we have to wait a year to be able to use your income. Those would be specific reasons for denial. It doesn't mean you're denied permanently, it just means you're denied right now, temporarily, while we work on getting you on track to get qualified. You know, another question I get all the time is, what actually determines my interest rate? There's several factors that go into that. Depends on down payment percentage, loan program, credit score is one of the biggest ones. The other thing that determines it is what type of property. Is it a primary residence? Is it a vacation home? Is it an investment property used for rental? Those all are major and primary factors that determine the interest rate, which is why we have to really run a specific scenario for you to know what kind of rate you specifically would be getting or would be qualified at. All right, so those are some of the main ones that I get all the time. I hope that was helpful. If you have any further questions of course, me and my team are happy to answer any and all of them and make sure that you get as much education as much value as we can provide you. So with that being said, have an amazing day, and I look forward to hearing from you.